Photojournalism is important to me for a couple of reasons. One, because I think it's a service. I'm out there doing something for someone else. I get a great deal of enjoyment from it. I'm really trying to inform and help people have a better understanding of their lives or other people's lives that bring us closer together. I contacted Rich Clarkson at the Topeka Capital Journal, which was known as one of the best newspapers in the country. A few months later, he gave me a call, and it was the greatest 5 years I ever spent in the industry. The atmosphere in Topeka was such that we were trained as complete photojournalists. We would come up with our own stories, write the headlines, the captions, do the layout. It was up to us to really constantly be thinking about what was important in our community and what was important to the readers. Well, the most special assignment that I worked on in Topeka was the Pulitzer Prize-winning piece on natural childbirth, Lama's method of birth. It's important because of the Pulitzer Prize, of course. It was important at the time when it was done to expose people to something other than the father sitting in the waiting room with reading Red Book and smoking a cigar. He could now be part of the birth process as well. I had an assignment to go photograph the demolition of a neighborhood in Topeka, Kansas, and they were tearing this down for capital area improvements. And it was a huge neighborhood that was just being leveled. And I came upon this older gentleman who was standing there just gazing up at these houses that were once his neighborhood. He'd once lived there. Wonderful old face, and then his glasses were reflecting this house that he was watching be demolished. I was continually being exposed to this drumbeat of the importance of black women as pioneers at a time when they were really dealing with both sexism and racism. Before they all passed away, I thought somebody really needed to go out and document them and interview them and let them have their say. I think the photograph of Septima Clark, the one on the cover, is one of my favorites, just because there's such a regalness to it. It kind of sets the scene for the stature and the importance of these women. I Dream a World had 15 different printings and close to 400,000 copies. Because of the journalism that I've been engaged in, you had to really choose what is the best format, what is the best film to shoot on a given assignment. There are Life magazine assignments that were on color negative, Sports Illustrated material on Kodachrome, some on Ektachrome. Some stories for Life were black and white. It ran the gamut, it was everything. So most of my career, which is getting close to 50 years now, is all on film. It's on chromes, it's on negatives. I don't know what the definitive number is, but it's tens of thousands of chromes and slides and negatives that we've got. Being freelance, all that material stays with us. So I have so much material that I've tried to scan over the years or avoided scanning because it was either too expensive or the quality wasn't good. What we've been looking for is some way to open those archives and allow us to, frankly, get into a revenue base that's just sort of sitting there doing nothing and could be making money for us. We've bought several dedicated film scanners throughout the years and have always kind of limped through the process. It was never quite what we wanted, and we would up the ante, spend a little bit more, and we still didn't get what we wanted. On occasion, when we had to, we would send it out and get a drum scan, which costs a hell of a lot if you want very many of them done. I've been a stickler for quality forever. The quality we're getting is better than the dedicated film scanners we've used in the past. There's no question about it. And what we feel we have is greater control. We have greater control over color balance or greater control over shadows and highlights. And at 6400 DPI, I don't need a drum scan. The 4.0 D-Max is giving us the dynamic range that we would get with a drum scan. So much of my work is black and white, and it's for other clients, other magazines, and they're handled in various different labs, and they're not always handled really well. So we get some of this material back, and it really has some bad scratching. And with this fluid mount, we are able to almost eliminate everything. I mean, it greatly reduces the scratches. We were a little reticent about putting this fluid on our negatives, and yet not only were the results terrific, it just evaporated at the end. The fluid not only is cleaning up scratches and dirt, we've been told that the images would be sharper, which sounds a little shaky to me. But actually, after looking at them critically, I'm convinced they indeed are sharper. We can do 12 mounted chromes or 24 black and white negatives all at one pass on the scanner. The film holders are easy to load, and it has manual adjustments on the holders for critical focus. The V750M is not only an important part of our professional operation here. On a more personal level, my wife is able to bring over the family archives and scan those and share those with other family members. Now that we have the V750M here in our offices, we're scanning every day. And truthfully, we're generating business that before we were reticent to even get involved in.